Hello and welcome back to the Trick Play Podcast on the Fresh Take Network. I'm Simon Chiskovsky here with Caleb Peterson, and shortly we will be breaking down all the sports-related news, rumors, and drama that you will want to hear about. This week we have quite the loaded week. We are just hitting it back to back to back. Just absolutely best content we can throw out there. We're going to be starting off with something that I'm just going to call it probably one of the most ambitious segments we've had. It took us a total of about 3 hours, I think, to record between setting everything up and just recording it. We did a NHL All-Star draft ourselves. We drafted our own teams. And then we took those teams, put them in NHL 24, pitted them against each other to see how they would do out there. Sadly, it was not 3-on-3 because I could not figure that out. I'm not that tech savvy. I couldn't figure that out for the life of me. It was 5-on-5, but it was a hell of a hockey game. I think we can both agree on that, Caleb.
It was a great game.
Yeah, and then
Came down to the wire.
It did come down to the wire. Other than that, we went through our conference championship previews, breaking down who we think is going to end up in the Super Bowl and what we expect from both matchups, what we think is what personally is our choice on who we want to go to the Super Bowl, as well as who we think is going to make it. Then we went into the NBA and talked about the Pascal Siakam trade to the Pacers, which has a lot of talk around it as to who won it, and a lot of different opinions. And yeah, we'll make sure to get into that. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, Fresh Take Network, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, as we have new content coming out every single week on each and every one of those platforms. Caleb, I want you to describe to me right now, with tears, I want to see them tears, how devastated you are that only 94.1% of viewers are subscribed.
God damn it!
No,
This is so upsetting. I don't even have any words. This is one of the greatest tragedies of our time, frankly. I don't even know.
It is devastating.
I don't even know.
Hopefully
I don't
we
even know.
maybe we'll just have to convince them with the incredible segments we have lined up. Make sure to check out, like I said, them out everywhere. If you want to watch the full thing is right in front of you, obviously, if you are watching this. But as well as we will also have it all cut up into nice, tasty segment videos that you can quickly have or watch whenever you want. So make sure to check those out. If there's one segment in particular that maybe you are looking at and going, maybe I want to watch that one the most, you can skip right to it. You can go watch it over on our YouTube. But if you want to watch the full thing, which we also recommend, is there is a lot of content to go through here today. Make sure to just tune in and check out all of it. Make sure to tune in for every single second as it is, especially with that NHL All-Star segment. I honestly think that might be one of my favorite, if not my favorite segment we've ever done. I think it's so fun. I'm excited I'm excited to see all the reactions. I'm sure. Hopefully we get to it because I think it deserves a lot of attention after the absolute chaos that it was. So I'm excited. Make sure to tune in. Next segment. All right. With NHL All-Star Weekend pretty much right around the corner at this point, as of recording this, I think it's about a week and a half away, right? So it's going to be coming up pretty quick, and what we decided to do is we're going to both draft our own teams, because this year the NHL is bringing back their All-Star draft, which they did for a little bit in the 2010s, which led to a couple iconic clips you might have seen online featuring Phil Kessel and Alex Ovechkin. We're going to be bringing that back here on the Trick Play Podcast, and we've got a bit of a graphic set up to try and visualize this, because this is going to be a whole mess. This is a lot of players, that's for sure. I'm excited to get into it. I think the plan is off the jump, since it's everybody's favorite part of the All-Star Weekend, obviously. Everybody loves that the NHL likes to do this. Like, this is definitely not something that everybody complains about every year. We're going to be choosing celebrity coaches. People who know a lot about hockey and are going to have a great time coaching. With mine, I was thinking, who is somebody who I could not imagine in a hockey rink? Like, somebody I think that would actually just despise being there. Like, just, who is the epitome of everything that is the opposite of a hockey player, and I think that that is Conor McGregor. So I would like to welcome. Oh, I didn't click that. There we go. I would like to welcome Conor McGregor to the team, as he will help me draft. He will help with strategic trash talk. Yeah, welcome Conor McGregor, who definitely agreed to be featured on this episode, by the way.
For my celebrity coach, after I heard Simon's announcement, I knew I had to get someone equally big, if not even bigger. And while Simon is not, he's already posturing like he's going to lose by picking someone like McGregor, I am in it to win this competition. So I am picking what I think was the brightest possible hockey mind out there. Someone who knows in depth,
reads a lot of books,
all aspects of the game. He reads a lot of books. You could see him out there on the forecheck. You could see him out there scoring goals. You could see him out there blocking shots. This guy does it all. He's truly the greatest of all time. And truly the best person we could have to man this team. And that is LeBron James. Please welcome LeBron, everybody.
Incredible. Well, now the elite coaching staff of us, as we're both very qualified to run a hockey team, obviously, and LeBron James and Conor McGregor, we can start drafting. We've got a very long list, as I mentioned. There's a lot of names here. I think I have everybody. I did my best here to make sure that we had pretty much everybody. I'm not going to bother running through all these names beforehand for all the audio listeners. I think you're just going to have to do your best to follow along. I think this is going to be a segment that might lean a bit better to the visual side of things, but you're still welcome here nonetheless. We will do our best to explain things as they go and give recaps, but this is going to be a long one, I think. So,
oh yeah,
Caleb, I think you have a coin. If you want to do the honors,
I do have a coin.
Do you want me to call it?
Okay. Okay. Before we do the coin flip, I have a proposition. A proposition. My proposition is that I will give you the first overall pick.
Okay. Free
of charge. I only have one condition.
Yep.
And my one condition is that you take Boone Jenner with your first overall pick.
Ooh.
That is my only condition.
Well, who are you taking with your second overall pick there? Because I think if I'm taking Boone Jenner, you got to take somebody as equal skill as Boone Jenner, which I know is hard, as Boone Jenner is an excellent hockey player. I think I'd take McDavid. I feel like he's the closest in skill. He doesn't quite get there. You know, but then I feel like you're losing that trade. For your sake. I'm gonna have to.
This is a very generous trade offer.
I see that, but I think
need all of the help that you could possibly get.
I think
that's
I'm gonna
why
have
I'm
to
offering up.
I think Boone Jenner is just too much of just an incredible hockey player. I think in this case, but okay, let's flip that coin. Let's get this underway because this is gonna already take 10 years. So we got a lot of names.
You know what we gotta do is once we have these rosters, we gotta put them in like NHL 24 and see who actually
I was gonna say that. I was thinking that before. I don't know if you're doing anything tonight, but I'm so fucking down. I have my capture card. We can set that up. I was gonna say 1 second. Simon, remember to edit.
Trick play gaming edition.
I think that's an awesome idea. We should totally do that. Well, now I can't edit it out because we're still having a conversation while we do it. I forgot to plug in my computer for all the people in the background. We're very professional podcasters here.
We are very professional podcasters. Okay, Simon, you're gonna call it while you're plugging it in.
Well, I mean, I can't really call it in the air. I can't really call it in the air due to the lag, but
no, that's true. George Washington is heads.
I'll go tails.
The American Eagle is tails. Okay. I didn't catch it. It is heads. It is heads.
Okay.
So I will get the first overall pick, and in hindsight, remember that I offered this up to you free of charge.
That's true. I could have gotten Boone Jenner. Darn.
With my first overall pick, I will indeed take Boone Jenner. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to take Connor McDavid.
Oh, really? Wow. Ain't that a shocking one? Is Connor McDavid first player off the board? In real life, he is. I'm trying to center this. Photoshop
He's a
does not want to be
captain.
my friend. He is a captain, I was going to say. We're still allowing the captains to be drafted because
Because
for
I'm
more
the
fun.
captain.
Because, yeah, exactly.
And
I'm the
LeBron
captain.
is the captain.
Yeah, LeBron does
And
what
LeBron
he
is the
says.
captain. LeBron
He does what he
LeBron really
wants.
badly wanted to take Boone Jenner, but
Yeah, no,
I hate fun, so
on the
blame
first
me.
page, LeBron has read more first pages of books than anybody else ever, and I think from all of that knowledge, he really wanted Boone Jenner, but it.
He really did.
Yeah, but like
really
your generosity leaving him
did.
here, as I will now take Boone Jenner, which I know is a weird way to pronounce Cale Makar, but it's just the way that I know how to say it. So yeah, welcome Boone Jenner to the team.
Very cool, Boone Jenner.
Yeah.
Man, he's still on the board. This is gonna be a tough
I know
decision.
this is crazy.
Um,
How did he
for
make
my
it this
next
long?
pick. Okay, so you took Makar, so I'll go into my next pick. It's honorable trying to take a defenseman as your first overall pick. I think it's cute. I think it's fun. But me and LeBron over here are real hockey minds,
Oh yeah.
and you have given us right on the table the ability to pair McDavid with Draisaitl. So
Ooh.
I might as well take that opportunity to put those teammates together again, which they will be in the actual All-Star game. So we'll get to see how that pairing plays out in real life. So when they get like 10 goals each, and then you know that me and LeBron have already won.
That's true. Yeah, no, I honestly forgot that they were going to play. The whole alternate captain thing is really weird to me because that means there's going to be, what, 3 people standing up at the draft stand for the All-Star teams?
Yeah.
It's going to look really funny. But yeah. Anyway, I think...
You see like Kucherov, Will Arnett, and Steven Stamkos or whoever. I don't even know who it is. Most awkward, like whatever the most.
I still
combination
agree
of
with.
people
I don't
we can
remember if
find.
you said this before or during the podcast, but the idea of Nathan McKinnon. Oh, I've already forgot her name. I'm not a pop.
Tate McRae.
Tate McRae. Yeah. Nathan McKinnon, Tate McRae, and I'm guessing Cale Makar is his assistant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's gonna be a pretty funny sight as well. Although 2 Calgarians there, Cale Makar and Tate McRae.
I know.
Yeah,
And
I
Tate
didn't even think
McRae.
of that. Yeah. So there you go.
Yep. Maybe that's why they did it.
I will not be pairing up teammates in this one. I'm going to be taking Austin Matthews from the Toronto Maple Leafs here and teaming up the M last names.
Oh wow.
Yep, I know.
Look at that.
Controversial choice there, taking Matthews over McKinnon. I don't know how controversial that actually is, though. Like
I feel like that is relatively controversial because I'm gonna snap that right up. Like
Yeah,
I'm,
no, I'm
I'm
sure.
not.
Well-
I'm not letting that. I'm not letting that go 1 extra second without being.
Yeah, like
You just gave me, I think, the 3 best offensive players in the draft.
Oh, I don't know about that.
McGregor's getting in your head.
I don't know about that. I think I'd argue Matthews is a better offensive player than McKinnon is. Personally, I like McKinnon more, but in an all-star scenario where the goalies aren't trying, the defensemen aren't trying, I think I like Matthews.
I don't know. I
think Matthews is a better scorer, and I think his stats back me up
Okay,
on that one. This is where things start to get a little bit more
Okay,
interesting. I have David Pasternak here twice, and once of them is misspelled. Just ignore that part. But I'll here. That means I'm probably missing somebody, but that's all right. I'll delete him. Now where to go from here? This is where it's going to start to get tougher because there are a lot of very good options still left on the board. Like you got Pasternak.
Boone Jenner.
Yeah. Boone Jenner. I'm going to take Pasternak.
Okay.
I won't complicate
That's not
it
a
for
terrible
myself.
pick.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay.
I mean, looking across the board here, I think all of the superstars in the NHL are now gone for the most part. There's a couple players who are like
they're all
fringe.
on my team.
There's a couple players who are all fringe, but I think the 6 players we have here are pretty solid.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with like this is gonna be a tough decision. I think I'm gonna go with I'm gonna play the strategy game. Me and LeBron, like, we're in the backward discussion strategy. We've got a draft strategy here. So
Yep.
I'm not gonna tip my hand too much as to what our strategy is just yet. But I'm gonna go with Jack Hughes because I feel like
He
you
was my
said
next
all
one
the
as well.
true superstars are gone. Yeah,
Where
okay, that's what
is
I
Jack
figured.
Hughes?
You said all the true superstars were gone. I think Jack Hughes is the closest one to that at this point in his career.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna take
Well,
him, and
and the
he's gonna
funny
be
thing is,
a
when I
nice addition to
said
my
when I
second
said
line.
fringe players, I was thinking Jack Hughes. I think he is one of those players who was really walking the line. If you were to walk up to me on the street and say Jack Hughes is a superstar in the NHL, I wouldn't disagree with you. I just think that
Yeah.
the previous 6 players are just like maybe a step above him, but not. It's not a big step. But yeah, now we are truly in that phase of like it getting a little bit interesting. Uh, you know what? I are we assuming here that it's if we're gonna do the NHL 24 thing, are we assuming this is still 3-on-3 or is this 5-on-5?
This is 3-on-3. This is 3-on-3. You have to
Yeah,
play it
I
as
don't
if it's
know.
an actual All-Star game.
Okay. If it's 3-on-3, then I'm not gonna make that pick. I might still make that pick. I'm gonna still make that pick. Why not? Cause yeah, that'd be my top pairing anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna take Quinn Hughes here. I'm gonna take the 2 best defensemen off the board.
Wow, he's splitting up the brothers, eh?
Oh yeah.
My thing is this is an All-Star game. We don't need defense. I would have taken him at some point, but come on,
Yeah.
this is the game that's going to be about like 18 to 15 or whatever. I don't care about defense at this point. I'm just going to continue to create like the ultimate dream team. I feel like I've got a pretty good assortment of everybody who's a superstar. I'm going to pick someone who is more of a superstar in the past, but is still having a pretty good season and is still up there and is still probably one of the only good things about his team at this point, and that's Sidney Crosby.
That's a good
Put
pick.
Crosby up on the board. I think my squad is looking good. If you told me I could get McDavid, Draisaitl, Jack Hughes, and Sidney Crosby on my team,
That is a good.
I think I'd be
You have
the
your
only,
you have
I
4
think I'd be
centers
the only
on.
one
You have
drafting.
5 centers right now, which is the wild thing. Like you definitely can see the strategy. That's for sure. You can definitely see it. I think
This is called positionless hockey. It's the All-Star game. We've all got people. You just got to pick best player on the board. That's what LeBron was telling me in the back. You just got to pick the
yeah.
best player on the board. He
That's
scratched
some
out
good
all the
wisdom from
positional
LeBron
labels
right
on it.
there. That's some good wisdom.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now this is where things just get. I've said that the last couple of picks. It's just tough. In my head, I'm looking at all these names and I just feel like there's so many good options.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Vincent
That should have been. You know what? If you wanted a really good trade, I would have taken your offer to take Boone Jenner first overall. If you took Tom Wilson, I would have been up for that. I'm gonna take Mitch Marner here. I think adding another M to the team. Another M. Austin
That's
Matthews' teammate. That's the strategy. Yeah, that's what McGregor was telling me in the back. He knows a lot about it. Yeah, you can see that. You can see the wisdom truly shining through.
Can't wait until you take JT Miller with your next pick.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Who am I gonna go with? I'm gonna go someone who's a little bit more of a pure scorer. I think he can provide a lot of experience, a lot of playoff experience in terms of performing in the clutch, multiple Stanley Cup winner. We're gonna go Nikita Kucherov on this one.
That's another good pick. Yeah, he was the
Phil.
one I was arguing in my head. I was thinking Mitch Marner or Kucherov on that one, and I don't disagree with that pick. I think I'm gonna go a little bit younger here. A player that hasn't been in the league for too long. I think this is his 3rd or 4th year. I can't remember honestly off the top of my head, but I think he adds a little bit of youth to not necessarily an older team, but there's a lot of later 20s in here. I'll take somebody who's a little younger. I'm gonna take Kirill Kaprizov. I don't know why I struggled to get that out, but yeah, I'm digging it.
All right, that's a pretty good pick.
Yep.
That's a pretty good pick.
Adding another elite scorer to my squad.
I'm realizing Pasternak was not the only one who was up there twice. Does this mean we get to pick Frank Vetrano multiple times? If so, I might have to do that.
Where is he? Is he? Oh, he is up there multiple times.
Yeah.
So is Clayton Keller. Why are they both up there multiple times?
Yeah.
Holy smokes! No wonder this. No wonder this.
Multiple Frank Vetranos on my team.
No wonder this list looks long. Holy!
My fourth line of Frank Vetrano, and Tom Wilson.
Holy, it'd be over.
Dead.
Oh, you can still have Boone Jenner, Tom Wilson, and Frank Vetrano though. That's pretty elite.
You could. That's a killer. That's a killer All-Star line. Instead of that, I'm gonna go. Who am I gonna pick? I'm gonna.
The spacing here on both of our teams is really starting to piss me off. I'm sure I'm not the only person. I'm the one doing it and it's pissing me off. I'm gonna just try and just don't mind me. I'm just gonna. While you make your pick, I'm just gonna
look at until your eyes fall out of your head.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna continue with my strategy of not caring about defense because LeBron tells me defense doesn't matter. When they gave him the all-time points record, they weren't talking about his defensive stats. That's what he's telling me. So we're gonna go. We gotta keep going. Best player available on this one. I'm gonna go. This is tough. We are getting to the point where a lot of no. Actually, screw it. Let's pay tribute to where I am right now. Let's pick up Elias Pettersson.
Okay, that's a good pick.
Give me the guy with the cool last name. Just needs one less T.
Okay, that's a respectable pick. There's a lot of he's one of those guys that I could have saw falling a little bit because I think it's kind of funny. I think he was overrated for a while, but now he's almost underrated because he had a couple down years.
An X-Star?
Yeah, no, he's had a very solid season. I think that he's definitely up there with a lot of the players we've mentioned already. I am gonna go with. I actually despise how many Leafs I have on my team right now, but I think I'm gonna go William Knight.
Wait, you're gonna go Nylander?
I'm gonna go Nylander here.
Almost half your team is Leafs.
I know.
Simon, closet Leafs fan? Who would have thought?
Oh, you wouldn't catch me dead being a Leafs fan, but I can acknowledge the fact that they have a couple talented players.
I'm gonna leave Morgan Riley on the board there for you. I'm not gonna pick Morgan Riley. I know, Simon. You're fan of you really want him on your team.
I know. I want him so bad because he's so good at hockey.
I know. I'll make sure he's up there for you. Since this guy, I was going back and forth between this guy and Pettersson, so I might as well just pull the trigger on it now. I'm gonna go Barzal.
Okay.
I'm thinking he was a guy who I put on my my Canada international roster because I do think he is a very good player. I don't think he's I haven't really heard all that much about him recently, honestly, so I don't know how good of a season he's having, but he has been very good for a very long time at this point. Having him on the third line with Pettersson, I feel like that's a decent start of a line right there. I'll find someone else to round out that three.
No, I definitely don't disagree with you either. I think that's a pretty solid line. Let's see. I think that I'm going to go with... I'm surprised this guy's fallen as far as he has. In my head, when I think of players who are really another player who's on the fringe in my head, who I don't know a lot about him, truthfully. I haven't watched a lot of Hurricanes, so I haven't been able to watch him very much. But I think he's, out of all the players that I'm seeing on the boards right now, I'd almost argue he's one of the few players who are still of that upper level. I think I'm going to take Sebastian Aho here. I think that's probably
a good pick. That's probably who I'm going to take with my next one.
Yeah. Well, it feels weird that he's still here. He's one of those players, so I have no issue taking him.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go someone I think who's having like a sneaky good season. I haven't been watching the most NHL this year, because this is my normal pattern is that I watch NFL until my eyes fall out of my head, and then eventually, once the Super Bowl happens, I start getting back a little bit more plugged into hockey again. So I was surprised when I looked at the Florida Panthers stat list and
Oh
saw that
yeah.
Sam Reinhart is like going off
He
this season
he was the
and is
player that I was
insanely
fighting in my
good.
head about. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking. Just because of his performance this season, to be outscoring some of those guys on the team that he's on, um, that's kind of insane level production. So I'm more than willing to take a chance on a guy like this at this point in the draft when there's not a lot of like superstars left.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think that's a really good pick. I think where I'm gonna go here is probably I think we're finally at a point here where I might try and take a swing at one of the players who are going to be playing in between the pipes. Just because in my
Ooh,
head, and the main reason I almost feel like I'm going a little early here with it, is I feel like there's a bit of a skill difference between a couple of the goalies on this board, at least in my own head when I look at it. And I
oh
think
yeah,
I think there's one player who really stands out, and he's another one of those guys who is really at the top echelon of the sport right now, and I think that's Igor Shesterkin, and I'm gonna throw him right on my
okay.
team. I wanted to take him earlier, but I'm happy I got him now.
Well, that's a good point. So I was wondering when the goalies were going to start going because I did think about that. Me and LeBron were chatting it up in
Yeah,
our weekly strategy meetings, in preparation for the draft. And our strategy ended up being is that we just wait for you to take a goalie because we think there's two pretty much equal in skill level players out there. So we'll just wait for you to take one of them, and then we're good with taking the other one, and that's going to be Connor Hallebuck.
yeah,
Put him up there. That's LeBron's pick. That's LeBron's guy.
oh
LeBron
yeah.
loves Winnipeg.
Well, and McGregor was saying a lot of similar things. Is something that you might know if you follow his career is Conor McGregor does not like leg kicks very much. I'm sure you can picture why he does not like leg kicks very much. So he respects any man who is willing to strap 10 pounds of of protection around his legs. So for McGregor, it was very obvious here why you would take a goalie early. But I think for my next pick here, I am probably gonna try and round up. Hmm. I was leading up to try and say something there, but I don't know. I didn't know who I was gonna take off the top of my head. You know what? I'll take Dalian. Why not? Another
All right.
defenseman. He feels like he's too good at hockey to still be on the board, so I'll take him.
He is. I haven't taken him because LeBron is screaming at me anytime I try to bring up taking a defenseman. So, um, with the players that are left, it is kind of looking like a little bit rough. But I'm at the point where I'm kind of on my fourth line. I don't know in an All-Star game this doesn't really matter, but fourth lines you kind of need someone who's a little bit tough. I don't know. Maybe you can start an All-Star game fight. First one since John Scott. I don't know. He seems like the kind of guy to do it. That's Brady Tkachuk. He's still got that scoring touch. He's still more than worthy of being an all-star, but he provides a little bit of grit to the team. Uh, we like having that over here on Team Caleb. LeBron is all about grit and
Oh yeah,
toughness.
big
He would
time.
never sit out any games.
Oh, LeBron's all for the fans.
Oh yeah.
From here, I Kachuk was one of the players I was looking at, and that actually makes my choice a little easier because when I'm looking down the board we currently kind of have going here, we're starting to get to the point where we're looking at some players who are a lot of these players are it's their first times here, or they're not a player who you would normally see here a lot, but they'll make an occasional appearance. I think where I'm gonna go next here is probably I think I'm gonna take DeBrincat. I think that he's had a really
All
good
right.
bounce back here in Detroit, and I like adding another good playmaker to my squad here. Former teammate of Brady
All right.
Kachuk.
I think that's a good pick. I think that's okay. That's probably who I was going to go with next. Because again, we are kind of getting to the point where things are looking a little bit limited. I'm gonna go with someone who was recently added. We're gonna get one of the injury replacements off the list, and that's gonna be Kyle Connor. He's someone who I think's been underrated for a long time. Another really good scorer. Pair him up with his teammate in Hallebuck. Obviously, not a lot in terms of chemistry because they're not going to be passing to each other, probably, unless Hallebuck's making a rush down the ice, unless Coach LeBron schemes up something devious. But he's a good scorer, and in terms of all the other guys on here, even though he is an injury replacement, I almost feel like he's a lot more deserving than some of these other guys who are left, like Lindholm or Vetrano or Keller. So put him up there. I do think if we're going by LeBron's strategy of best player remaining, I do think he is probably the best player remaining.
No, and I don't disagree with that. I think that he's another player I've been eyeing for the last little bit because I'm a big fan of. Obviously, we've played a couple here in Calgary. We've played a couple playoff series against Winnipeg in the last couple years, so we've gotten to see Kyle Connor a couple times, and he's a very good hockey player, without a doubt. I've always been a big fan of him. I have no issue with that pick. I think I think where I'm gonna go next here is probably taking there are a couple players here who I think are on very, very equal ground, at least in my own head. I think where I'm gonna go is probably by taking the best scorer, at least out of the players that I'm seeing right now, and that's Brock Besser.
Tom Wilson. Oh.
You were close. Don't worry.
My guessing game's a little bit off. I feel like I'm in your head.
But speaking of which, I'm guessing that's your next pick,
and then
right? That's who. LeBron's all about grit, like you said.
LeBron is all about grit, but I don't know. LeBron doesn't vibe with Tom. Tom was getting into a little fisticuffs in him in the back room during the commercial break. LeBron's got a little bit of personal vendetta. He's more of a Frank Vetrano guy, but he feels like that's a sleeper that can wait.
I don't know.
If I'm looking, LeBron was up late grinding the Frank Vetrano tape. You know that he was. LeBron. Me and LeBron, we're looking at this list and we're kind of disappointed with everybody that's left. This is kind of
we're getting to the point where it's just grab someone.
Who would you rather have on your team, Vincent Trocheck or Clayton Keller? Oh boy. Possibilities are endless. I'm gonna go with a guy like there's only a few people left who I'm like, yeah, you deserve to be an all-star, kind of potentially. I think one of those guys is Philip Forsberg. I'm gonna pick him.
Yeah. That too. If you didn't, I would have.
I think Nashville is having a better season than a lot of people think. I glitched out for a second there, but yeah, Nashville's having a little bit of a better season than people think. They're kind of on the fringe, and he's the star player there. I think he's not nearly as good and hasn't quite ascended to superstar heights like it kind of seemed like he would in his younger seasons. I remember when he and Gaudreau were kind of in the race for the Calder that one year. He was playing insane. I don't think he's ever quite lived up to that, but he's still a player with a lot of talent and is still a star, if not a superstar. So me and LeBron are more than willing to get him on the team because we got a little bit of slim pickings left here.
Yep, and I'm gonna just immediately grab the guy who was sitting right next to him because I think they were really the two people I was competing with in my head. You made my choice a little easier. I'm gonna go Nick Suzuki here. I think he's probably the next best available. He's another center to add to a team. Like we mentioned, this will be 3-on-3. So I think he's one of those players that I think at least makes a lot of sense to add to a team like this.
Yeah. And now if I'm looking at the players left, me and LeBron, because LeBron's a defensive guy. He's all about defense. LeBron,
obviously,
except when he's choosing defense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, looking at your board, I think that's pretty clear there, huh?
LeBron is about defense, but not about defensemen. He's a very complicated, nuanced guy. If you ever get to know him,
I imagine.
There's a couple players we're interested in that we're looking at that we're like, okay, that could be a good fit. But we also think that we got some sleepers. So those guys we think we're safe to wait on. We're gonna try to play a little defense with our picks here, and we're gonna go with JT Miller.
Okay, that makes my choice a lot easier.
We're gonna block you from getting the All M team, because we think that'll just destroy your team chemistry.
That's true.
Considering how
Yeah.
many M names we have now, we've got McDavid, we've got Miller,
Oh,
we've
that's a
got
very good
Matthew
point.
Barzal.
Oh, I'm shaking in my boots.
Things
McGregor
are
just
things are
pooped-
looking rough.
pooped
Things are
his
looking rough
pants.
for the plan you guys initially had.
That's true. That's true. I think where I'm going to go next here is a player that I think has fallen a little bit further than maybe he deserved to with the season he's currently having. I was very much hoping that you were not up to I'm blanking on the word. I was very hoping you were behind on your Arizona Coyotes tape on this one. But I'm going to take Clayton Keller here. He is just
LeBron hates the Coyotes. Anytime
LeBron's not a big
I
fan of
wanted to watch
Arizona.
Coyotes tape, anytime I wanted to watch Coyotes tape, he pulled out a gun and threatened to shoot me.
LeBron took offense.
There's no way you're going to Arizona. We're not going to Arizona.
Only 3 points under a point per game pace. I think it's honestly disrespectful that he fell this far because he's been such a big part of that Arizona team that seemingly came out of nowhere and is having a very respectable season. I think that he's the obvious one for me at the very least.
All right. Now we're getting into it. We've got a few left. There's a lot of goalies left, but I'm not looking to take a goalie at this point.
Yeah, I think
it's because you already got one.
We can kind of agree to. We can agree.
Two.
I was gonna say, yeah.
All in terms of, I do think. No, me and LeBron, we're just gonna pull the trigger on who I think is the best player of it left, because even though we think we could wait it out a little bit more, I think the risk is a little bit too high. We're gonna pull a player off of one of the most surprising teams of the 2023-2024 NHL season, the Philadelphia Flyers. We're gonna pull Travis Konechny.
That's a good pick.
Very underrated. Very underrated. This Flyers team is doing fantastic. And Konechny is a big part of that, even if he isn't as much of a household name, and if he isn't like a star among the league elite at this point. He's still considered the best player on a Flyers team that is pushing its way into a playoff spot. So I think that's a great kind of character guy to have on our team. LeBron's all about the character guys.
LeBron's a big character guy. Everybody knows that. With my next pick here, I think out of all the players left here, I want to do I'm going to quickly look up the stats here because I do not know. I am sorry, Robert Thomas. I do not know your game. Okay, that's what I thought. I figured I'd heard very good things. He currently has 46 points in 44 games, and I knew he was having a very, very good year. So he's another guy that I think has kind of gone under the radar a little bit across the NHL, and I'm more than happy to add him to the team. He's another center. He's another guy who's pretty solid defensively as well. I'm very happy to have him on the squad. But yeah,
that's a pretty good pick.
The waters are not quite as deep as they once were.
Yeah. We're looking at these guys, and we're so LeBron has forbade me from choosing defensemen, so that limits my options. There's only a few forwards left. I'm gonna pick a guy that most people think does not deserve to be here, including me. And we've had extended conversations about this in terms of him probably not deserving a spot in the All-Star game. But we're gonna pick. It's not like he's a bad player. He's had a bad season, but we're gonna pick based on what we know he's been in the past. And when you pair this guy with good line mates like you used to have with Gaudreau or Monahan or Kachuk, whenever those combination of those guys were available, Lindholm performs under those situations. So if you give him some all-star line mates, there's a chance he can rack up a few points, provide some decent quality minutes in an all-star game. Put Lindholm on the squad.
That's a respectable pick right there. I think, like you said, I don't agree that he deserves to necessarily be here stats-wise. I think he's had a very big down year, but I don't have an issue with it talent-wise. I agree with you. I think you pair him up with a lot of players who are on your team right now, he will have a very, very good showing. I think he's one of those players who can't necessarily shine alone, but when put with other stars, he gets elevated, and I think we'll definitely see that. But I think next here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself I'm probably going to go... Ugh, this is really thin now. I actually think I like Morgan Riley, even if I have to slide him up on forward. Like, like at this point, I almost think he's so good talent wise
He's
that I
got
think.
all the Leafs.
Yeah, I've got all the Leafs.
He's
Oh
got all
no,
the Leafs. Big Leafs fan. Big Leafs fan.
Big Leafs guy. You know what? But
You know,
that
Simon's
I
always
think
wrecking
is there even any more defensemen left on the board? I don't think there is.
Is Bjorkstrand a defenseman? I don't
No, he's
know
not. He's a winger.
the only one I'm not certain about. Okay. No. LeBron has completed his mission.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you go Riley, then I've again got limited options. I'm gonna if we're leaving, we're kind of leaving the goalies to the end here because we already got our starters. I'm gonna go. We're basically just kind of like closing our eyes and shooting darts randomly. So I'm gonna go with Thomas Hertel. I feel like he's kind of got the most talent out of anybody left on this list. Where he's had some good performance. I don't even. Is he still on the Sharks or was he?
He's on the
did he go to
Sharks.
the Devils? I don't even know. Okay, he's still on
You're
the Sharks.
thinking of
You know
Meyer.
what? I'm thinking. Oh yeah, I am thinking Timo Meyer. But Thomas Hertel is still the best player on a bad Sharks team, and that's one where I think the quality of the team doesn't necessarily impact the quality of the player. Is Hertel going to be a guy who would be there if we didn't have to choose someone from every team? No. But is he a bad player? No. He's a good guy who we'll have on this team, and he'll maybe do something.
I can't believe you let him fall this far. Caleb, you done messed up. You done messed up. He's still here.
You stealing
After
Toronto?
all this time, he's still here. Just sitting there in the wake.
Jenner?
Just sitting in the wake. If there was a Martian laser pointing at the planet, and a hockey player needed to hit a 3-pointer for the entire thing, you know who I want? Give me Boone Jenner.
No.
I think I've made my point.
No.
I had to do
God
it to
damn
you.
it.
I know he's your boy.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll rebound. We have options. Remember, LeBron's been grinding this Frank Vetrano tape this entire time. And I think he's got a point. Give me Frank. Put up Frank. Put Frank up on the board. Fuck it, Boone. We want Frank. Give me Frankie.
Ooh, good pick. Respectable pick.
I trust LeBron wholeheartedly. LeBron's been grinding that Anaheim Ducks tape.
I think where I'm going to go next here is I'm going to go for another one of the injury replacement players. There's only 2 this year, which is pretty good luck. I'd argue it's pretty good luck. Not including players who just opted out, like Ovechkin, for example, but I'm going to take Vincent Trocheck here. He's had a very, very respectable season, 43 points. He's one of those players who goes under the radar a lot because I think he's consistently good, but he's not necessarily been consistently great in his career. But this year he's having a very, very good year, so I have no issue taking him here.
Yep. That's a pretty good pick, but I'm going to go. Remember, LeBron's a great guy. So LeBron is looking and saying, who's the guy who are going to,
There's a lot of goalies here.
There's a lot of goalies here. I'm not taking a goalie. Screw a goalie.
Yeah.
We're getting a guy who can provide a spark to the team. Give me Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
Only the most talented players on LeBron's team. Frank
to round that
Tom
out,
Wilson
then,
parents to be on the map.
I'll take Oliver Bjorkstrand, and then you can have a first pick at backup.
Okay.
Maybe
If
how
we're
we could
taking
do
goalies-
this. How we could do this. If you are actually down, I am so down to just throw these teams in NHL 24. That is an awesome idea. I think that would make for a really good end to the segment. But
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay, well, why don't we do that? I think we'll just say we both take a backup here. We'll take one backup
Okay, just one.
because there's too many goalies here, I think.
Yeah. You don't think that people are clamoring to find out whether we like Jeremy Swayman or Thatcher Demko more?
I think the people will have to live on this one. The people, sadly, I don't think we're going to see 5 goalies being on a rotation throughout the game.
Come back next week for the Jeremy Swayman Cam Talbot debate. Unmatched content over here at the Trick Play Podcast. I'm gonna with my pick. I'm gonna take maybe this is a Flames fan bias, honestly, but someone who's haunted my dreams for like a couple years now. That's Jake Ottinger.
Yep.
If he can play at all like he did against the Flames, oh boy! I know he's still a fantastic goalie, but if he can pull out any of that, I don't know. Hellebuck pulls a quad or whatever. We got a fantastic backup.
Yeah, and I'm going to take Thatcher Demko, another player who we see a lot in the Pacific Division. I don't know if he's still holding up to that level that he was at one point, but I know at a certain point this year he was standing on his head for like the entire season and just doing incredible for Vancouver. So I think he's a good pick there. Whether we'll actually see them in our incredible matchup that if all things go well in the recording of it, because I don't know if this will work, you will get to witness. You probably won't see the backups, but who knows? Maybe a judgment call will have to be made when one of us is losing by 4,
Yeah.
probably Caleb.
No, probably. I don't know. LeBron's got good strategy. LeBron has drawn up some good plays. There's no chance in hell we're ever trailing in this game. Mark
No.
my words.
Do you have a score prediction?
Not a chance.
Do you have a score? Or you know what? Maybe we should wait.
18 to nothing for me.
Well, fuck you. 21-0. You ain't
The
ready.
Toronto hat trick.
Have you
Frank
seen
Toronto
Boone
hat
Jenner's
trick.
game? You don't know game.
LeBron knows game. Fuck you.
I don't know if we'll be able to set up a 3-on-3 game. That's the most interesting thing to me about this entire thing.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out. I'm excited, though. This will be fun. Before we get into it, for anybody who is tuning in just to this segment, this is going to be its own separate segment as well. We, in a previous segment that is on our channel right now, went through all of the teams, or we went and drafted both of our teams, sorry. So what we're going to be doing quickly here before we get into the actual gameplay, if you want to skip to when the game actually starts, you can skip to a point that is going to be, one second. It's going to be up here. It's going to be on the screen right now. Yeah, there you go. Skip to then. But we'll go through our teams first for anybody who didn't watch the draft segment. Also, neither me or Caleb have seen our lines. We'll get into mine first. We are not setting our lines. These are set up by our celebrity head coaches in LeBron James and Conor McGregor. So let's see what Conor McGregor has for us. Already, top line, Kirill Kaprizov, Austin Matthews, David Pastrnak. I don't hate it. That's a pretty good starting line. I like it. I like our odds of winning with a line like that. William Nylander, Sebastian Aho, Mitch Marner. Respectable. 2 Leafs. Alex DeBrincat, Nick Suzuki, Clayton Keller. And then to finish things off, Brock Besser, Boone Jenner, the GOAT, the captain, if you will. And then Oliver Bjorkstrand. On the defensive side of the puck, we have a pretty wild setup. Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, can't really get better than that. Morgan Riley, Rasmus Dahlin, another very, very serviceable line. And then 2 very, very good defensemen in Vincent Trocheck and Robert Thomas. In between the pipes, we will be having the... Oh, God. This is lagging a lot. Come on. We're going to have Igor Shesterkin and Thatcher Demko. Starting will be Igor Shesterkin. And then, Caleb, if you want to run us through your team
All right.
while I quickly...
So again,
there we go.
so if you're new to this segment,
Well, no, don't
LeBron-
spoil your defense.
Yeah.
Don't spoil your defense.
Okay. Okay, we'll look through the lines first. So we wanted to keep the Oilers together, so we got McDavid and Draisaitl on the top line. We got Kucherov to add an extra little scoring touch. Then we move down to our second line. We got Pettersson, get some of that Canucks winning luck there. Get someone from the top player from the top team in the league, can never go wrong. Jack Hughes, budding superstar, paired up with someone who's been a superstar for a very long time, Nathan McKinnon. Then we got a little bit of a solid kind of gritty grind him out line. We got Kyle Connor, JT Miller, Travis Konechny. Then I can't even see who we've got on left wing at the bottom there.
Brady Tkachuk.
We got Brady. Oh yeah. This is our ultimate grind him out line. We got Brady Tkachuk and Tom Wilson to punch their teeth out. And Thomas Hurdle is there too. All right, we'll move on to the defense. And so if you're looking at this, you may think Crosby on defense. What the hell is happening? But LeBron is actually smarter than you, because LeBron has decided that in hockey, after grinding hours and hours of tape, he has decided that defensemen actually don't matter, and that all you really need is forwards and just put them back there, and they will score a whole bunch of goals. So we're going to put one of the greatest hockey players, if not the greatest hockey player of the last generation, Sidney Crosby, on left defense. Because not only does that put one of the greatest players in the history of the game on the ice as much as he possibly can, it also pairs him with the McDavid, Draisaitl, Kucherov line. And then you put Sam Reinhart out there, who's having an underrated season for the Panthers. You put him out there, oh boy. That just is going to wreck some havoc. Then our second defensive pairing, we got Matt Barzal, we got Elias Lindholm, another couple great defensive players. And then to round it out, we got LeBron's favorite, Frankie. You put Frankie out there on defense. You got to get the Frankie Petrano, Tom Wilson, Brady Tkachuk combo out there on the ice. Ooh. Oh boy, can't be stopped. And then you throw Philip Forsberg in there for a little bit of extra speed. We'll get out there with the goalies. We did pick Hellebuyck first, but I guess Jake Ottinger is better in this game. But it's okay because he's absolutely fantastic. If you're a Flames fan, you saw him in that series a couple of years ago. Man, makes me sick how good he is. Oh man, absolute stud out there. This team is potentially the greatest roster ever assembled because LeBron James controlled it all. Absolute GOAT.
Very true.
This team cannot fail. Cannot fail.
No, I don't disagree. I think this team is very, very stellar, but I think your defense is going to come bite in your butt. And we're going to find out right now.
Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go.
Welcome back. The game is about to get underway. Our teams are now assembled. This is going to be the laggiest stream ever because we are using a very scuffed setup to do this. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I don't even know. So
Crosby's on defense.
Crosby's on defense.
What is happening?
LeBron's strategy of not picking defense hasn't really worked out because it turns out we couldn't do 3-on-3, so we have to do 5-on-5. But it's okay. I think the chemistry of the team is good enough. I think we've got good enough players.
What is happening right now? Can I
I don't know if the screen is as pixelated as it is for you right now, Simon.
It is. It's very slow. This is terrible.
I think this honestly adds to the appeal, frankly.
Oh my god. Oh no, we got
This is what LeBron would have wanted.
No, it's so oh, it looks normal.
Here we go.
It looks normal. Okay, maybe.
There we go.
Oh my god! What a breakaway! No!
Oh,
for the audio listeners,
stoned him.
Makar just got absolutely stoned. Kucherov's on the break.
Audio listeners, I'm gonna say take a break and come over to YouTube
for this
one.
You're
getting some quality gameplay here.
Oh my god, everything's
you want to be cheering for
Why
the
is
team
Ottinger's in net for you? Not even Hellebuyck.
Oh damn, is Ottinger rated higher than Hellebuyck in this game?
I guess. Here, how about we take a quick pause and take a peek at what they have for lineups, if we can even do that. Can we do that? We can't do that. Okay, never mind. I lied.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fine.
Out there right now is Hughes, Pettersson, and McKinnon for you. Nylander, Aho, and I think it was. I didn't see who the last player on that line was.
That's a solid line. That's a solid line right there.
That is a solid line. Immediate turnover, though.
I don't know who we got. I don't know who we got on defense.
I almost feel like we have to split this into two segments. Oh, Dahlin up on the rush here. Nice shot from the outside.
I think we do have to split this into two segments.
Well, we can like have one long one, and then I might upload this as its own separate segment because this is hilarious. Okay.
This is fantastic.
For all the audio listeners out there, so far it's been a lot of offense for my squad, not a lot for Caleb's. Caleb does not have any defensemen. For an update,
I don't have any. Well, we got Crosby playing defense.
That's true. You do have Crosby playing defense. Nice plays, nice passing here. Nothing's gonna come of it. Hughes up on the rush. Oh,
See,
Lindholm.
I think my team. Right to the.
Nearly a good chance. Nearly a good chance. Okay, we're back on the rush.
That's
Keller.
okay. We
all
don't
alone
have
has DeBrincat.
we don't have
Oh,
any defense. But
Yeah! Woo! Clayton Keller.
damn it.
That's what happens when you let him fall. Let's go. That's a strong start.
God damn it.
Off the rebound. Clayton Keller scores it. It's now 1-0.
LeBron is furious.
LeBron is fuming right now.
This is why LeBron hates Arizona.
Yeah, there you go. He just knew it would happen. DeBrincat,
okay.
Suzuki,
It's
and
okay. We have
Keller
to-
for me out there. You guys have to respond quick here, though.
We do. Did we put the McDavid line out there?
Hopefully. Suzuki. That one gets turned back over.
See, this is okay because we have such good offense that we can score so many goals so fast. Oh. Get the forecheck.
Yeah, good forecheck there. You guys stole it in the neutral
Crosby
zone.
out there. Crosby out there on D. What a play! I can't even tell who that is. We got JT Miller out there.
I was gonna say, I want to try and do play-by-play for the audio listeners here, but it's such chaos, and I just feel stupid doing play-by-play for something as dumb as this. I actually am inviting all of you to come over and watch on the video version here. I think you're missing out.
This is fantastic. This is fantastic.
Currently,
this is quality hockey. Okay, we are.
Yeah.
There's only 41 seconds left.
So my top line is Kaprizov, Matthews, and Pasternak out there against Kachuk, Hurdle, and I think that was Tom Wilson. So currently a bit of a mismatch out there right now. Ooh, Wilson laying the body.
Are you guys? Oh,
easy save for
that's a good
Shesterkin,
chance.
though. Those pads look nice. I like the pads. Does my team even have a logo on their jersey? I can't even tell. Oh, is that McDavid? R.I.P. McDavid.
I couldn't even tell.
Or 97. No, that wouldn't be McDavid because that'd be 97 on my team. Oh, Crosby getting knocked on his butt. And that's going to do it for the first period. That's going to do it. So after one period of play, my team leads 1-0.
They got a lucky goal. Got a lucky goal.
So far, your team has not missed a pass yet. My team is currently winning on time on attack.
We're so good on offense.
Currently, I'm beating you in shots, 6-4. The one goal
we
so
pushed
far,
at the end of that period. We pushed at the end of that period.
You pushed. That's true. Clayton Keller currently has the one goal of the game. He scored it fairly
Tom
early.
Wilson is our leader in
beating
stats.
Ottinger. beating Ottinger off the rebound. Okay, we'll get back into the second period now. This is awesome. I'm glad we had this idea. Oh, this is the Trick Play All-Star game.
Trick Play Gaming coming to a YouTube near you.
You have Sam Reinhart and Crosby as your top defenseman. Okay, that's gonna get
good.
stolen.
That's good.
Pasternak on the breakout. Oh, nearly a good chance.
All right, shit.
Makar losing the puck in the.
We got McDavid out on the ice. We got McDavid on the ice.
Yeah,
He's gonna make
McDavid's out there with
happen.
Draisaitl going across. Oh, that's our first penalty.
That's a penalty. That's a penalty. Send it to the
Pasternak
box.
sent it to the box. The captain.
If there's anything this team is built to do, it's win on the power play.
You are using, and this is a conversation that I've seen had on Twitter a couple times, and I've been one of the people arguing against this. But some people believe that teams should start throwing out a 5-forward power play unit.
See, we have no choice. We have to throw out a 5-forward power play unit.
Crosby back by the net in front of Forsberg.
Oh.
You guys are going to hold on to
that was a weak dump out.
Nice move by Hughes. That's something weird about NHL. Crosby in front. Back out to Forsberg. Hughes in front. No.
Oh, that was a good chance.
That was a good chance, but Shesterkin was there.
That was a good chance. Right to the slot.
God, maybe I was gonna say maybe taking a goalie off the board early was a smart move. Also, we wanted to do this in 3-on-3. We couldn't. It wouldn't let us. You can't use custom teams in 3-on-3 in NHL for some reason. and I couldn't figure it out. So this is what we got.
LeBron was fuming. LeBron was fuming. This team is built for 3-on-3.
Yeah.
Do we still have a power play? I can't see under my.
I think you guys have a couple, like maybe a minute left in it.
Okay.
Time on attack is evened out a little bit for the period. 2:12 to 2:31.
Yep.
They're leading. You're currently kicking my butt in the face-off circle. That's not surprising. Your whole team's a bunch of centers.
Yep. Oh, let's go. It's a potential.
Oh, if he got by there,
it's going to be a potential 2-on-1.
Oh, but you'll keep it in. Crosby back in for.
Oh,
nearly two good chances.
Oh,
Miller, he's in front. Oh, yeah. We got a tie.
Let's go, Jack Hughes. Oh yeah, that's the kind of team we built here. Oh, look at those beautiful jerseys. Oh. Slam one past Shesterkin there. We've taken all the momentum.
Oh, that's true. You guys on the power play, I think, as well. There you go.
Team is built for the All-Star game. Some teams are built for the playoffs. We're built for the All-Star game.
Oh, here we go. Hughes. Oh, nearly a good rebound shot. That's going to go cross crease. Marner. Back out to Nylander. Now we're breaking out. Here we go. Trocheck. Up on the attack. He's pretty pissed that I took Boone Jenner over him, so I expect a big game from him.
Where's Boone Jenner's ice time?
Where is Boone Jenner? That's a great question. Is he benched?
I haven't seen. You haven't pulled out your best player.
I was gonna say, if I could edit the lineup, I would have put Boone Jenner top line. Makar with the steal across to Marner. Marner cutting in. He's gonna get knocked off.
His leg, and I don't know if we're getting scored on or not.
Makar back out to Marner. Oh, good chance in front. Not quite gonna go though. McKinnon gets the steal back across to Lindholm. Kaprizov back to Makar. Back out to Hughes. Long shot, no good. To Makar. Back out to Hughes. Hughes missing two shots in a row there. Pedersen over to McKinnon. McKinnon's going to rush up. I think there's a broken stick in there. My squad ends up getting the steal. Hughes back up on the attack.
So laggy right now. I have no clue what's going on.
That's why I'm just deciding to commit to the bit. I'm doing play-by-play now. Pasternak is going to get the steal in the corner, sends it to the center to Makar, who's rushing up alone. Up the wing.
Oh, there we go.
Trying to find someone in front. Hughes, long shot, no good. Because he's just going to cover that one up.
I went out of commission for about 4 minutes of game time there, but we didn't get scored on. That's all I can really ask for.
McDavid in the face-off circle against Boone Jenner.
Boone Jenner's in the game.
He's in the game. Boone Jenner. Come on.
Did he win that face-off? He won that face-off.
Boone Jenner's nuts.
Oh my god.
McDavid in front.
Oh my god, but he's about to get scored on here. Oh.
Had the pass to Kucherov, no good. Dahlin breaking out.
This is a fantastic.
He has Jenner up on the rush. Oh, you guys are doing good. Dahlin's just gonna kick that one in. Nothing's gonna come from it. You guys are breaking out now. Draisaitl up on the rush.
The McDavid Draisaitl
setting it up front. Forsberg, Kucherov, McDavid in front. Shesterkin just waving the glove at him.
Oh, what a
beautiful save!
What a save! McDavid in the slot and he gets denied. Rough. That's okay. I like what I'm seeing about this squad. It's positive momentum. LeBron is happy. That's all you can really ask for in a situation like this.
Connor gets blocked
LeBron
on the
is very
outside.
happy with this.
LeBron is very happy, I'd imagine. For anybody who didn't watch the first part of this segment, LeBron is Caleb's celebrity coach. Conor McGregor is mine. That's going to do it for the second period, though. That was a competitive one. I think you guys won the period.
It's a good thing. Oh, absolutely, we did.
Yeah, you guys definitely won.
We just let you guys have the first. We let you guys have the first.
You guys came out slow.
We're coming back from here.
That's LeBron's philosophy.
Also, yeah, exactly. LeBron says LeBron has the Pete Carroll philosophy. Can you win the game in the first period? No. Can you win the game in the second period? No. Can you win the game in the third period? Fuck yeah. That's what we're saying in the locker room. That's what we're saying in the locker room. We're ready to push for this third period. I also think it's very important that you. It's very important that you gave the context on who LeBron James is in this situation, because people are about to be very confused as to why I keep talking about LeBron's opinion on this whole thing.
Okay, so I'm going to run through it for the audio listeners who can't currently see the stats on the screen. Currently, it's 9 shots for me, 11 for Caleb. He's kicking my butt in hits, and currently passing percentage, as your team finally missed a pass. You hadn't missed one in the first period. You're beating me in face-offs. My team took a penalty, and you were able to capitalize and tie things up, so you're one for one on the power play. And I'm just barely beating you on time on attack, but it doesn't feel like it. Do you have any wisdom for your team, Caleb, going into the final frame?
If I'm telling, well, I'm leaving it all up to LeBron because I think he knows what to do with his team. He's so in touch with it. He's studied hours and hours of film on this team. He's going into this period ready, and he's got these guys amped up. I don't know if I can add anything more to that. I would just say Tom Wilson should be on the ice the entire third period. Would be my only
Same
pointer.
with Boone Jenner. We gotta get that matchup. Tom Wilson
versus Boone Jenner fight.
Oh,
have them fight at center ice.
We need a goalie fight. Okay, I think we can get into the third here. Tied 1-1, 20 minutes to go. This is close. I'm happy this is close.
This is the most exciting thing Trick Play's ever done, I think.
I think so. I think we just peaked. Makar back outside to Kaprizov. Fighting Matthews inside, walking in. No one there for the rebound. Kaprizov back out to Matthews. Oh, nearly a good chance. It'll get blocked. McDavid on the rush. McDavid knocked off the puck. Hughes now rushing up with it. Finding Kaprizov on the opposite side, handing it off to Matthews. Matthews tries the toe drag, gets it to Kaprizov, but just barely stopped there.
Let's go.
We're coming out strong. We're coming out strong.
That's okay. That's okay. This is what I've always said. This is what LeBron has always said. Good defense is the foundation of this team. That's what he's always said.
As McDavid's going to win that one back to Crosby, back up to Kucherov. Kucherov breaking down the middle. He's going to get stopped, but not for long. Reinhart buries it!
Oh, yeah!
2-1! Oh, no!
Reinhart pick at the top corner. I knew that pick would pay off. A late round pick out there with the top group. Oh, what a steal in the draft that was.
Oh, my team needs to turn things around. McGregor is fuming. McGregor just threw a dolly through a bus.
Crosby out on defense. That's why you put Crosby out there on defense. Who started that play? Crosby. Put him out there on defense. He's an absolute all-star defenseman.
Draisaitl's going to send that one up to Kucherov. Kucherov's on the rush. Gets it stolen by Matthews. Back across to Makar. Pasternak moving through the neutral zone. He's going to send that one backwards to Matthews. Matthews now sending it across to Hughes. Kaprizov on the rush. Sending it in front. Tipped wide. Back up to Makar. Into Kaprizov. No one's there to grab it. But we're getting some decent pressure now. McDavid. Draisaitl on the rush hit now. 12 minutes remain. He'll get knocked off the puck. Sebastian Aho's now on the rush. He's got no one with him, though. Oh, he'll hold on to it. Marner! Nylander! Oh! So close. Just narrowly stopped. Ottinger standing on his head. Makar over to Sebastian Aho.
What's going on in the corner over there? Oh, no.
Puck's just going to bounce off the pad of Ottinger and end up on the stick of Reinhart. McKinnon now on the rush. He's all alone. Sending it outside to Pettersson. Stolen by Nylander as he breaks out once again.
Oh, what kind of move was that?
Back across to Nylander, but he'll just get it stolen right from him. Hughes gets knocked off the puck. Stolen by Riley, but that one's just going to get sent right back down. We got to talk about pulling the goalie quick here. We're running out of time. He'll get knocked off the puck. Yeah. Keller rushing up. He'll flick that one inside. But it looks like his team line mates went off for a change.
Time is draining. Time is draining right now.
Time is running out. Riley is going to get the steal as he rushes in with it. No! No! Delayed penalty! Oh, what have we done? Oh.
Was that in? Oh, what's that? Oh, I didn't even see that. Get in the box. That sign is right. It's time to retire, DeBrincat. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Oh, we better
put that 5-forward power play back out on the ice.
No. Oh, we gotta Keep it out here. Robert Thomas is going to get the clear after a good chance by JT Miller.
Oh, I thought he had a chance to take that. That was scary for a second there.
Oh, that'll get knocked off his stick. Oh, maybe a shorthanded chance here. Bjorkstrand able to hold the zone. Not for long, though. You guys will steal it right back. Hughes has it now. Over to Miller. Miller's on the rush. He's all alone. He's got Forsberg on his wing, though. Inside to Crosby. What a save! As Shesterkin keeps it a one-goal game. Holy smokes!
If you guys come back, that's the play that did
that
it for
is
you.
The play.
Oh my goodness.
Jack Hughes up on the rush. Morgan Riley gets the steal, and he'll tip that one right in. 20 seconds remain on the power play. You guys are running out of time. This is what we need now. We need to keep it in the zone.
We got to get some pressure here.
Okay, that'll do it for the power play. Kucherov's going to get pinned. We'll try and hold the zone. Steal it in the neutral zone.
That was a golden chance.
DeBrincat on the rush. Has someone in front. Sebastian Aho. Oh, a couple people in front. No one's able to bury it. Aho's able to get a steal there. 1 minute remains here. You got to think we're talking about pulling the goalie. McGregor
got to pull the goalie.
Oh,
come on, man. This is the All-Star game. This is the All-Star game.
By Shesterkin. He's going to choose to send it out. Jack Hughes to Marner.
There's only 20 seconds left.
My timer just went off. Marner's on the rush. Pulled goalie. Nylander shoots. 14 seconds on the clock. Oh, to the corner. In front. Not able to bury it. Ottinger's going to cover it with 8 seconds.
Oh, the pressure. The tension.
Oh, my God. Nobody's in between the posts. 6 people out there.
This is the greatest game of hockey ever played.
Oh, we got our basically Toronto line out there. Crosby's going to have it. He'll send it in front. Pasternak with the steal. We still have it. Marner shoots. Marner. Oh, no.
I can't get the shot off. I can't get the shot off. That's a win. That's why you don't take any defensemen. That's how you draft a hockey team. LeBron knows hockey. LeBron knows hockey. Come bite me, McGregor. Come bite me. Get out of here. What a performance.
I'm in shambles.
What a performance.
You don't need any defense. Shambles. That'll do it.
With the prettiest jerseys and the top players and the best draft and the best coaching, Team Caleb wins it. And an absolute thriller.
Oh,
you don't need to. We didn't even win time on attack. We didn't even win time on attack, and we still had the defensive
We lost. The
acumen
penalties lost
game.
It for us. The penalties lost it for us. Too undisciplined. McGregor went out there and he said, you got to attack with ferocity. And we just did it a little too much. McGregor was like, take those ankles, hit those legs, but not understanding the rules out here. He was like preaching MMA garbage while we were out here taking heads. But unfortunately, you guys have too much talent that if we kill McDavid with an up high, like, damn question mark kick, it ain't going to matter.
See, this is why you get an experienced hockey mind like LeBron James and your coaching staff. LeBron James isn't going to make those amateur mistakes. He's going to coach his team to be disciplined. We didn't take a single penalty throughout the game. What a performance.
What a hockey game. What a game.
This shows...
Can I, you know what we should do? We should quickly do a quick rundown here of what both of our teams are. You know what? Actually,
I guess this is that.
But behind the scenes here, I'll say, you know what we'll do? We'll put this at the front of the segment. So we'll re-record this. Anyway, thank you for watching. All of you would have already seen our rundown of our teams, and they were awesome. Yeah. They were awesome. So thank you for watching the segment. This was fun. This was worth the time it took.
This was absolutely. This also goes to show that the new NHL format is pretty cool. I don't know if it'll live up to the hype that this one did. I think we already had a better spectacle than the actual All-Star game is going to be. If I'm going to say that, if I could be so bold. Maybe this is just a note to the NHL to get us out there next time, because I think we just provided a more entertaining product than what they're going to showcase.
That was incredible. That was truly a hockey game. That's all I have to say. Your lineup
was a hockey game.
Your lineup was so incredible that you were able to pull it off. Wow. Just insane. I can't believe it. Good game, sir.
Good game.
Yeah,
Good
you
game.
truly outsmarted me with your incredible lineup of 5 forwards.
Every single time. My only regret is that I couldn't put a forward in net.
True, true. Yeah.
We will move now into the world of the NFL, and obviously, we just passed what is most people think is the best weekend of football of the year. That's the divisional round playoffs. We had the Niners beating the Packers, the Ravens beating the Texans, the Lions beating the Bucks, and we had to finish it all off in the best game of the weekend. We had the Chiefs beating the Bills. And now, what this sets us up for is what I think will be a great conference championship weekend. Next Sunday, starting with the AFC Championship. I think that's at whatever that is, like 3:30 Eastern, maybe. And then we got the NFC Championship starting. I think that's 6:30 Eastern. I'm in Pacific time. I don't know why I'm going to Eastern time, but either way, we'll start off by previewing the AFC Championship because that one happens first, and I think this one is maybe the more interesting matchup. It's a duel between two quarterbacks who I'm honestly surprised have not played each other in the playoffs quite yet, and that's Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. What do you have to say about this matchup, Seven? I know you watched a little bit of that Chiefs versus Bills game. What do you think about this matchup going into it?
Um, I think it's gonna be a very good one. I think it should be very competitive. I think it's honestly a little odd to me to see Patrick Mahomes here this year. After everything, I think a lot of people have been very looking down on this Chiefs team, and I think they've actually proved a lot of people wrong just even being here. This is a very weird thing because, like you said, never played each other in the playoffs, which feels weird. Like you'd think they would have, but
Yeah.
I think this is a rare example of if you were to have told me that going into this game, Patrick Mahomes would probably be the underdog going into this year, I would be very, very shocked. But now we're here, and it really does feel that way. I feel like this Baltimore Ravens team has done everything they've needed to show that they are probably the team to beat this year on that side of in the AFC. And I think this is going to be really good. I think it'll be very, very competitive. Just like what we saw out of the Josh Allen or the Bills Chiefs games, I think we're going to see another really competitive football game. I think hopefully we see even more of a quarterback duel. I think this has a chance to be another all-time classic. And
Yeah.
personally, I think I'm cheering for Lamar. I don't know about you, Caleb, but I think I'm tired of seeing
Yeah.
the Chiefs dynasty here. I kind of want to see something new.
Yeah, even though the Chiefs are they completely are the underdog, like you said, and I think I do want to go back to something you said in terms of them proving people wrong. It's so hard to say because I don't their playoff run has just been weird so far because I don't know if it's proving people wrong as much because they were genuinely not very good in the regular season. There's a reason that Mahomes is playing on the road in the playoffs for the first time in his career. There's a reason that's happening. It's because they weren't very good and they didn't have the weapons and the offense wasn't clicking. But now that we've gotten to the playoffs, it's almost like Mahomes has opened up another gear where he's playing up to that level again, where his playmakers are finally making plays for him. And it's like we're taping this on Mondays, like last night. It was the Bills who looked like the ones who had a disjointed offense and couldn't get their receivers going. Well, Mahomes is kind of chucking the ball downfield to guys like Rashee Rice, and it's looking just okay. Um, when I look at this matchup, I am going to be cheering for the Ravens here, and I do think they are going to come out on top. I think for as good as the Chiefs have played compared to expectations this postseason, if you just look at the divisional round matchups, the Ravens were the only one to really kind of dominate theirs. It was tied going into halftime, but in that second half, they totally pulled away from Houston, and that defense just leaves no chance. And I think Kansas City is a good matchup. I think Kansas City's defense is kind of up to par with the Ravens' defense. I think they're pretty similar groups, if not Baltimore being a little bit better. But I do think Baltimore's offense is significantly better. Lamar has played significantly better than Mahomes this season. You can never count out Mahomes. Obviously, it's Mahomes, and he's going to be playing the best football of the season because he plays up to these moments. But I think the Ravens are just too good at this point. they beat up on that bad Texans team, or not that bad Texans team. That Texans team was very good. My point is that the Ravens are just fantastic this year. Um, I really don't see them losing. I'm not going to be 100% confident in it because it is Mahomes. But if I'm going to have to pick anyone, I'm going to pick the Ravens in a bit of a close game. I think it's going to be Lamar's first trip to the Super Bowl, which it seems like it's been a little bit long for him before reaching one. He's deserved to reach one for a long time now, so I hope he gets the chance.
And I don't disagree. Like I said, I think Lamar's the favorite in this one, in this heavyweight matchup we've got going on here, and I do think he's going to take it. I agree with you. I think if I were a betting man, I would definitely put my money on Lamar and the Ravens after the season they've had. And I know a guy who's a pretty big Ravens fan that if they make it to the Super Bowl, I will not hear the end of it. So maybe it's a little bit of a, I don't know. There's a little bit of me that wants to see them lose just for that reason, but they're probably gonna get it. And I'd like to see Mahomes have to go play golf for at least 2 weeks. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you know this stat about Mahomes? I didn't know this until this weekend. Mahomes has been the starter for the Chiefs for 6 years. He has been in the AFC Championship every single time.
I know.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But there is precedent for him losing in the AFC Championship, right? Obviously lost to the Bengals, has lost to Brady and the Patriots. This is the round where we can see him slip up against really good teams. And I think if there was ever a year for him to lose in the playoffs, it's this year. I think the biggest matchup to highlight in this game is how the Chiefs passing attack lines up against this Ravens defense. You look at the Bills defense that they played last week, that was a beat up unit. They have so many injuries on that side of the ball. Tre'Davious White has been out for a long time. Matt Milano has been out for a long time. They're down to like third stringers. They were talking about like they literally only had like 4 linebackers available to them on defense. I do think this Chiefs offense has played significantly better than they have for a large portion of the year, and I think that can be attributed to a lot of their success. But I also think that they've gotten some favorable matchups in terms of defense with injuries for both Buffalo and Miami in the first round. This Ravens defense is playing at a full clip. They just completely shut down C.J. Stroud and Texans, who had been a good offense all year. Their only touchdown coming off of the punt return touchdown. So this Ravens group is absolutely spectacular, and I wouldn't be shocked with how the Chiefs offenses has played all year. If you're looking at the playoffs is such a small sample size that I wouldn't be shocked to see them revert to kind of what we've seen from them all year, especially against a group that's as good as this Ravens defense. They have so many stars out there. They have a fantastic coordinator in Mike McDonald, who has just been destroying some of the best offenses in the league. Lamar doesn't even have to play. I don't even think he'll have to play that spectacular just because of how good this Ravens defense is.
Yeah, no, and like I said, I don't even disagree with you. I think that at the end of the day, Baltimore has the better team. And whether the better team wins here, we'll have to see. I think that is the question, right? Like, we're not debating whether the Chiefs Chiefs or Ravens are the better team here. We're talking about who's going to win on Sunday. I think it's Sunday. Games were weird this weekend. It was like all weekend long, so I don't know, I'm all over the place. But I think it'll just come down to, like you said, how Patrick Mahomes does. I think Mahomes is the story. I think if he can find some way to put the team on his back once again, they have all the power in the world to win. Because that's all it takes. Mahomes just needs to play like Mahomes and they'll win. Or they'll have a chance to win at the very least. But if they go out there and the Ravens play the type of game that we know that defense can play, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting, especially with how we just saw the Chiefs defense pretty much just get lit up by Josh Allen on the run. I believe he had 2 rushing touchdowns, or did he have more? He had a lot. Just think about Lamar.
I believe he had 2.
Yeah, like it's...
Yeah.
I don't know. I personally, like I said, I think this is a bad matchup for the Chiefs. I think this is the last team you want to be playing right now. I think they had a very close game with the Bills, like you said, but the Bills don't have half the defense the Ravens do. At least not at this point in the season. So I think, like I said, the Ravens are very easily This is their game to lose completely.
Yeah, I think it's their Super Bowl to lose, frankly. I would take the Ravens against anybody in the NFL that we have left. I mean, and we've seen that. I mean, they didn't play the Chiefs this year, I believe, but they played both the Niners and Lions, and they pretty thoroughly undressed both of those teams. The Lions, especially, 38-6. And the Niners, we all saw that game on Christmas Day, where they single-handedly destroyed Brock Purdy's MVP case. They're just such a strong team right now, and honestly, it would just be so disappointing for them to lose at this point.
Okay,
they really have everything going.
Do you want to move to the other side of the Super Bowl?
Yeah, we can use that to transition into the NFC side of things. Niners Lions. Now, I don't think there's ever been as much of a good guy bad guy dynamic in a game ever. Maybe I'm just saying that because I'm a Seahawks fan, and I hate the Niners with a burning passion, and I think their team is stupid and I hate them. But everybody's been on the Detroit bandwagon. It's just such a feel-good story with how little playoff success they've had. But obviously they're not a perfect team, and the Niners have been really good all year. I think this will be a close game. I think this will be a good one. Not a matchup we've seen in the regular season, so a lot of unknowns going into it. How do you think this one will play out, Simon?
It hurts me to say, but I think this is, again, a very similar scenario to the thing on the other side, where one team here is very clearly the better team, in my opinion. And I think it's, at the end of the day, I said it last time, I'm going to say it again here, it's the 49ers game to lose here. I think if their defense goes out there and plays like they've played all season long, they've had a spectacular defense, they've had a spectacular offense. All around, like as a balanced team, they are probably the best pound-for-pound team in the NFL right now. And it's not, like, I don't think that's a controversial statement.
The Ravens.
You think the Ravens? You think so? I think
the Ravens completely destroyed them on Christmas Day.
That's fair.
In front of a national audience.
I'm just talking about when I look at a roster just talent-wise. That's what I'm talking about here. I just think that this 49ers team is so good, and they've been so good for the last 2 seasons. I just think that it would be a disappointment for them if they didn't come out on top in this one. I'm cheering for the Lions. I'm saying that, and then immediately going here that I want the Lions to win. Like you said, it's good guy, bad guy here, and everybody wants the Lions to win here. But it's so tough for me to sit in front of you right now and go, I think that the Lions are going to win this football game, because I don't know if I do. I think that if the 49ers go out and play the way we've seen them play for the majority of this season, I think it's going to be a tough game for the Lions. I mean, I don't know. I hope the Lions win. That's all I'm going to say past that, I guess.
Yeah. I think if I'm looking at things, I don't necessarily disagree with everything you said. I think the Niners have been a very good team. I think they obviously they've been in this for a long time. We can go back to Niners Chiefs. That was a while ago now. I believe that was pre-pandemic even, and we're looking at this team and it's a lot of the same narratives, a lot of the same roster, a lot of the same core pieces. Obviously very similar coaching staff with Kyle Shanahan. But I don't know. I'm looking at recent performances, and I'm looking at the last game we saw with them against real competition in the Ravens, and they got pretty thoroughly cooked. I'm looking at their last playoff game against the Packers, where if you don't watch that game, you look at it and you think, okay, the Niners won as expected. But if you watch that game all the way through, you saw that.
And I agree with you as well. The Packers were putting up one hell of a fight. I watched a bit of that game with my dad, who is, and I just want to say this, just a shout out to my dad, who was the biggest bandwagon football fan on the face of the earth. In the 90s, he was a fan of, he hasn't watched football like consistently in about 20 years. And but he'll tune in when either the Cowboys or 49ers are good.
Wow.
And just think of the timing with the 90s and the Cowboys thing. But yeah, shout out to that. So I was watching this with him. And again, I'm also a Seahawks fan, not as big as you, Caleb, but like I'm still definitely not a big fan of the 49ers. So I was cheering for the Packers, and it was pretty sad to see them lose, because I think it would have been a very cool matchup to see here with two sort of underdogs if we saw Packers Lions, and a divisional matchup as well.
Yeah. division rivals,
That
and
would've
that
been
would have been
very
in
cool.
Detroit as well, which has been a
Yeah.
fantastic environment. Yeah, I was really disappointed in that too, because like you said, like the Packers not only put up a fight, like you put it, they should have won that game. They were the better team, because it's just some unfortunate plays that went the Niners' way. When they had 3 red zone trips in the first half and no touchdowns off of it because they had to kick a couple field goals and they went for it on 4th and 1 and barely missed it. We're short by inches. Um, I'm I don't know. I think this Packers team, well, they were hot and they were coming into the playoffs really strong. I don't think they're quite as good as this Lions team. I do think this Lions team is better. So if this Lions team can play up to what we've seen at their peak, then I think they absolutely can win this game. I think they absolutely can win this game. And maybe that's wishful thinking because absolutely I don't think I don't think I will have ever cheered harder for for a certain result in a non-Seahawks game. Like I'm it's my love for the Lions at this point, who have become mine, and I think everybody's adopted team in the playoffs. I'm going to be cheering for them, but I'm also going to be cheering so hard against the Niners, which I do every single year. So maybe that
Every
colors
single
my
game.
perception a little bit. Yeah, maybe that colors my perception a little bit, but I do think the Lions have a real shot if the Niners play like they did.
Yep.
On Saturday against the Packers. I do think a big thing is Deebo Samuel is quite like we don't know if he's going to play this game. I think he avoided the worst in terms of injury news. I believe it's something with his shoulder. But you could see how much different that offense looked when he's not in the game, how much more one-dimensional they are, and I think that that's something Detroit can take advantage of.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, I still stand by what I said right off the jump when we first opened this segment. I think, like you said, I think the Lions totally have the talent to win here. I think everybody wants them to win. I still think that it's the 49ers. At the end of the day, it's their game to lose. I said that earlier. I'll say it again. Because like you said, if they play like they did against the Packers, the Lions capitalize on that, they'll win, right? I think we can both agree on that, right? Like it's what 49ers team are we going to see here? That's the question, right? If they show up and they look really, really good, look like a team that wants to go to the Super Bowl, I don't know if there's a lot that could stop them here. But if they come out and play like they did against the Packers, like they did against the Ravens in all of those games that they just didn't look too impressive in, I don't disagree with you. I think this is I think this is a very good opportunity to potentially see a very big upset here and see the good guys go to the Super Bowl. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
I think the biggest key in this game for me, other than I think Deebo Samuel is a big one. I think if he plays, then the Lions are going to have a significantly tougher time winning. But I think the biggest key is it's been highlighted in a couple broadcasts. Those Lions corners are not exactly the greatest. We saw it in the Tampa Bay game. As soon as Tampa starts going to the outside and trying to win one-on-one with Mike Evans, they just torch him down the field. That's why I think Brandon Ayuk is another player to watch because he's more of their deep threat. If Purdy can get it to him down the sidelines deep and kind of burn Detroit down the field to get some big plays, I think Detroit's going to have a tough time keeping up. But if Purdy's unable to do that, if he's inaccurate like we saw him in the Packers game, I know there was rain and weather conditions, but it still was not a great performance for him. But if he's able to kind of push the ball down the field, I think he's going to have a good chance to win. I also think, like you said, this Niners defense is pretty good. I think it's going to be an issue of how the Lions are able to exploit that because they've had a good offense, but it can be a little bit streaky. Like we saw it we've seen it in both their playoff games, where against the Bucs it was a defensive battle throughout the first half and a little bit into the third quarter, and then they rattled off touchdown, back to back to back to back. Same thing in their game against the Rams. They were excellent to start the game, but then they kind of had to hold on for dear life as the Rams were coming back and they were having like literally no offensive momentum. I think if they're able to be consistent, I don't think you can have that same kind of like streaky nature against the Niners because I think a team like the Niners is going to be able to capitalize on that. But I think if you are able to sustain that a little bit and not have as much of a kind of period where you're not putting up points, allowing the Niners to get back into the game or take an insurmountable lead, I think they'll be able to win. This is the game I think I'm more conflicted on. I'm pretty confident that the Ravens are going to beat the Chiefs, I think this one will be a little bit closer. I will pick the Lions in the end. I'm going to go with the upset on this
Okay.
one. I think maybe this is a little bit of my homerism talking, but I am going to pick the Lions. I just think what I saw out of them last weekend in terms of both teams, I'm confident that the Niners aren't quite the peak Niners right now. And I think if there's any team that can take advantage of that, it's going to be Detroit.
Yep. And the funny thing is I don't necessarily disagree with that pick. I just think at the end of the day, if to me it comes out to just I don't know. I fully think that this 49ers team is going to come out and give us their best in this game against the Lions. I think if I were to give a pick, I think it's going to be a lot closer. Like you said, I have a hard time making a pick here, I think I very much lean towards the 49ers. Just because I think I don't even know. It's a gut feeling more than anything, I think, with this one. Like this feels like the Lions have been on this, like, I don't want to call it a miracle because they have been good all year, but it feels weird to see them here, right? Like, yeah. And I just think that at a certain point I keep waiting for them to fall off. And I just getting this gut feeling it's going to be this Sunday. I just think that this 49ers team is so insanely talented, and they have all of the tools. Like, let's say Deebo Samuel doesn't play, which sucks for them. I still think they have enough to pull it off. But I mean, I think this will probably be the game to watch. I think this will be probably the best one you'll want to tune into.
This is the primetime one. NFC Championship. There's a reason it gets that primetime slot. Although, I mean, it hasn't been the best in recent years, but I think this will be a good one. Before we wrap up the segment. God, school's
God, I feel bad for what teacher has to fucking mark this shit. Holy.
We're getting an A+. Trick play has been stellar.
That's true. We've been good the last couple of weeks.
We have been good. But before we wrap up the segment, I'm going to ask you a question. Now, this is going to be out of the 4 possible Super Bowl matchups. We've got Ravens Lions, Ravens Niners, Chiefs Lions, Chiefs Niners. Not going off of what you think will happen, but what Super Bowl matchup you want to see.
Oh.
What's your number 1 pick? Which game do you want to see?
Oh, that's easy. Ravens Lions.
Yeah.
Like, I think because it'd be similar to this 49ers Lions game here, where it's like you'd get the perfect you have a clear underdog and you have a clear favorite, right? Like, and everybody's going to be cheering for that underdog. Everybody's cheering for that underdog. Like, I just think I don't know. That'd be so good. That'd be a good one. I think it's one of those. I feel like we don't see that enough anymore, where there's, other than the only thing, and I know, Caleb, you're going to disagree with me on this one just because of where you stand on the Rams. The only comparison I can think of where there was a clear, like, fan favorite was that Rams season, where it was Matthew Stafford with one last chance to win it all, right? Like, it was.
Well, that was absolutely not a fan favorite. I hated that team. That was absolutely terrible. Well, because
that's the way I looked at it.
Think of who they're going. Yeah, I was annoyed at you in that season because you were cheering against my beloved Bengals. Because think about who was on the other team. Yeah, sure. The Rams had a good story, and honestly, as much as this is maybe a good testament to the Rams, because as much as I hate that team, I was cheering a little bit for, like, I wasn't mad that Matthew Stafford won.
Exactly, but that's just what I'm saying. Okay, I think we would. This is like, can you name a season where it's been so clearly it's one team that everybody wants to win over the other? It's just a clear cut favorite.
I will say this, probably any season where anybody was going up against the Patriots. Sure. Maybe Falcons-Patriots would be the last big one.
Yeah.
Rams Patriots, I'm biased, so maybe that one too. But like Super Bowl 51, everybody would have wanted.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if Rams Patriots also just because of how controversial that NFL NFC Championship was. I feel like
Yeah,
that maybe
that's true.
that maybe took away from some people who
That
wanted them to
tainted
win it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably agree with you. That Atlanta Falcons Pats game was probably the last one.
Or
But even
Eagles
that-
Eagles Pats, where the Eagles
Oh, there
won.
you go. Yeah,
That was
no,
another one.
that's you know
Yeah,
what? That's
52.
the obvious one. Yeah. So
Yeah, with
Like-
Nick Foles, yeah.
yeah, exactly, right? Like that's a really good one actually. But
Yeah.
I think this has the potential to be as legendary as that. If the Lions go out there and just like pull off just like Jared Goff, like this whole team is just like has the potential to
Jared
make the
Goff
best.
outdoodling Lamar. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I want to see though. That'd be good. I imagine you
Yeah.
have the same opinion.
I actually don't.
Really?
I hold back a little bit because I don't think this is what, again, with the thing, like I don't think this is what will happen. But the thing that gives me pause on this Ravens Lions matchup is that regular season game. I don't want to see a 38-6 Super Bowl. I know it'll probably be closer than that. I know that was probably an aberration, but I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, yikes! Like these two teams may not match up very well. What I want to see, obviously, it's not going to be any of the ones with the Niners in it. I want to see Chiefs Lions. I think that would be a fantastic game because I think it would be. I mean, plenty of people have pointed this out. It's super poetic for the season to start with Chiefs Lions as the first game, and then to end with Chiefs Lions as the Super Bowl. That's really cool. And I think it would still have that same dynamic you were talking about, Simon, because it is still the Chiefs haven't been as good, but it's still Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
For the Lions to come out and beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, that would still be absolutely fantastic. And we saw like that season kickoff game was a great game. It was a 1-point game. Those teams are super close. I think that would be a great matchup. I don't know. The Lions Ravens would probably be my second choice just because I don't want to see the Niners. But I think this would be a closer matchup. And it would still have that same kind of like underdog dynamic that you're talking about in terms of the upstart Lions going against the defending Super Bowl champions.
Yep, I like that too. I just think if I could change my pick, I think I'll stick to what I said. But I do agree. I think that'd be really really cool. I think it does have the same level of. I think the only reason I'd stick to the Ravens Lions is just because, like you said, there is an opportunity there for it to be a 36 to whatever Super Bowl. Like that is definitely there. But what if it isn't? What if the Lions go out there and give the Ravens like a real run for their money out of nowhere? Like that game just has the potential to be like legendary.
That would be the biggest upset since that Philly Super Bowl, I think.
Yeah.
I think that would be an even bigger upset almost. I know Nick Foles, nobody would have expected that. Except me, I did take that. I placed it. This is the only. I think I've talked about this before. That's the only sports betting I've ever done. I put $10 on the Eagles to win Super Bowl 52, won that, and never gone back since. I'm 1-0.
It's the way to do it. Okay, well, I think we can wrap up this segment. We've been talking about this for a while. Next segment. I don't know what we're talking about next, but next, whatever. Simon,
Basketball.
what are we talking about
Basketball.
next? Basketball. Basketball.
All right. So in the big NBA news of the week, this is something that's kind of been brewing for a while. The Raptors kind of tearing their franchise down. Long gone are the days of 2019 and the days of Kawhi where they're out here beating the Warriors and kind of ending the dynasty and sending the first ever NBA championship to Toronto. Those days are long gone. That started first with OG Anunoby to the Knicks, which we talked about in another segment, which you can find on our channel. But this is probably the bigger of the two trades, the bigger player, which is Pascal Siakam. He is going to the Pacers. And that trade, the full trade details, I believe, are Siakam for Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, and 3 first-round picks. Now, obviously, this is a huge deal. Anytime a player like Siakam and that many picks are getting thrown around, pretty NBA-altering move. What do you like about this trade? What do you not like about this trade in terms of what it means for the Raptors and for the Pacers?
Well, that's not necessarily the way I was looking at it. So that would take me a second to collect my thoughts on that, because I think it is a little. I think the Raptors got exactly what they were looking for. If we want to start on that side, I think, like you said, this isn't the Raptors team that we saw that beat the Warriors. I actually think it's kind of funny that we've seen that Warriors team has actually stuck around longer than the Raptors did. But
That's true.
like, so it's been wild to watch this all unfold. But I think they made the right choice. I think you got as much for Siakam as you possibly could, because I don't know if this is just me not paying enough attention, but it feels like he hasn't been as good as he was during those like prime Raptors years, and I think you're taking advantage of, and that could just be the hype around when he first started playing well in Toronto, but I don't know. At least to me, to my understanding of it, I think this is a good move. I think you're capitalizing on a player who is still considered a star, who's still fairly young to my knowledge. I think getting 3 first-round picks for any player is a very good haul. You're getting another player in Bruce Brown, who's very, very, very serviceable, has been a part of some very good teams. I believe he was on the Nuggets, if I remember correctly. And
Yeah.
he's been on some good teams. He's going to add a good presence to that locker room as well. I think that as for the Pacers, you're just adding another really solid player, and their team continues to get better. I think this Pacers team is starting to turn into a real juggernaut for the first time since when they had Paul George, and I'm all for it. I think it's always really cool whenever Indiana is a good team. I think they've got very, very. You wouldn't know it necessarily if you just looked at the landscape of the NFL, but I think they have very devoted fans, and I think it's cool whenever we get to see them just play at a high level. Like, hopefully we'll start to get to. I think they have a very, very good team, and they have a chance to go very far in the East. So I'm excited to see that. I think Pascal Siakam, from what I heard, he was disappointed to have to leave Toronto, but I can't imagine he's necessarily too sad with his destination. I don't know if he necessarily could have gone to a better place, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, it always seemed like a great fit. And I think for the Pacers, I am a little bit more on the side of the Pacers winning this trade. Because I do think it's exactly what you needed in terms of another star to pair with Halliburton, because he's been playing out of his mind this season, and to give him another kind of star level player like Siakam, it really just elevates them from, I think, kind of the fringe level contender to a team that can actually make noise and go far in the playoffs, like you said. It'll obviously take some time to build some chemistry, but I do think that's something that can be done. I think this trade, this is something, because I'm not the biggest, my NBA fandom has always been, I'll watch more NBA and I'll cheer really hard when the Supersonics eventually come back. But obviously, living in Canada, I'm a fringe Raptors fan. If I had to pick a team to cheer for, that would be what I'd pick. So obviously, I'm take a little bit more interest in this than a lot of the other moves, and just reading some of the stuff around it, and then reading some more Raptors fan reactions. A good point was made is that the haul that the Raptors got. Well, you initially read it and you think 3 first-round picks. That's fantastic. You have to remember where in the first round they're going to be, because they're coming from Indiana. Yeah, who's going to be really good and is going to go deep in the playoffs. These are going to be late first-round picks. And basketball isn't like football, and isn't like football mostly, and hockey to a lesser extent, where you're going to be finding like great players in the end of the first round. It's a significantly lower hit rate. If you want to get very good in basketball, you're going to have those picks inside the top 10. And that's not what they're getting. So that's not exactly the best value. And I've heard that two of those picks are from the upcoming draft, and I know that draft is not necessarily the best in terms of the talent that's available. So if you're the Raptors, you're going to hope you find a gem or two with those 3 picks, but it's not necessarily setting you up very well. I do think it's probably the most you could have got for him. I know a lot of Raptors fans are upset he wasn't traded sooner, as in last year, to get a little bit more value for him. But I do think it's a pretty decent deal, but I do think the Pacers got the better end of it, just because because of the quality of player that Siakam is, and because those first-round picks likely aren't going to be very high, so they probably weren't giving up that much anyways.
Yeah, and that side of things I do understand pretty well. Because I do agree with you. The first round picks aren't necessarily worth a lot. I just think that's as good of a haul as you were ever going to get for Siakam, for one, at least this season. I don't imagine if you send him anywhere else you're going to get anything different. And look at it like this. There's not really a prospect you could have gotten for Siakam, in my opinion, that would be of value of those 3 first-round picks you ended up getting, if you want to look at it like that, that you could have traded for him. So, at the end of the day, at least to me, I look at it as you got what you were going to get. I think when trades like these happen, and usually the team that's trading away the star loses. That's how it works. And in this case, I don't necessarily disagree with you. The Pacers are winning. They did exactly what they needed to do. They traded away 3 picks that maybe aren't going to be worth a lot to them when they're contending for a guy who will help them contend even better. When you are in the position they are in, they did exactly what they're supposed to do. But that being said, I do think I don't think the Raptors necessarily lost the trade because of the fact that you got what you were going to get, right? Like if you're not going to be able to hold on to Siakam for your tank or for your just rebuild, this is what you were going to get for him. It was either this or you let him walk in free agency whenever his contract runs out, right? Like it's just you got. I don't know. I'm just repeating what I said, but I that's my opinion on it, at least.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think that it probably was the most you're going to get out of it. So in that case, good job to Masai Ujiri or whoever's making the moves in Toronto now for pulling the strings on that, making that decision, and getting as much value as you possibly could for him. I do think you probably should have pulled the trigger on that early, because I know the Raptors were not contending last year either. And you probably could have gotten a lot more for a guy like Siakam or even a newbie then. But if I'm the Raptors fans, I think that's what I'm most upset about. Definitely going to be a pretty big rebuild. I know they're going to focus more around building around Scotty Barnes. Hopefully they can get a good player with those draft picks to kind of pair with them and start that ground up rebuild. Because if you're looking at a guy like Barnes, that he's going to be pretty special. And I know it's been a little bit up and down since he won Rookie of the Year. I know he had a little bit of a slump and has kind of rebounded since, but he's shown absolutely the potential to be a star. And you probably want to rebuild pretty quick just to make sure he wants to stay around in Toronto. And I know there's been no indication that he doesn't. But you want to start rebuilding that core as quickly as you can, I think. And hopefully those first round picks help that. But I do think that if they had traded him a little bit earlier, maybe you could have pulled a little bit more, maybe pulled a prospect like you were talking about, Simon, that has a little bit more value than those 3 very late first rounders.
Yeah, and I guess I agree with that as well. Like, I agree with that sentiment, but I don't know if I have much left to add. Truly, I think it just comes down to 2 teams they got exactly what they both wanted. I think whether the Raptors could have got more if they traded him a year ago, that's at this point, what are you going to do about it, right? Like, they got what they were going to get now. And I think that's more what I mean. I don't know if I'm a Raptors fan, and I'm not, but if I was, I don't think I'd be mad about it. I think, sure, you're upset that you're losing a guy who was part of your championship squad, and I understand that completely. But I think, as for the haul, you got a pretty decent haul. I think 3 first-round picks should, while it isn't as valuable as it is in the NHL, NFL, what have you, it is still valuable. There is still a reason they're there. And I think even if it is a weaker draft class, whenever you have those first round picks, you are going to have a chance to get somebody special. And that's the risk you're taking. You are now getting 3 more chances to get someone special. And I think you got to look at it like that if you're a Raptors fan, at the very least.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into Trick Play this week. If you haven't already, make sure to check us out everywhere. We got Boom, Fresh Take Network. If you're listening on audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff, check that out there. Otherwise, subscribe to us on YouTube. Check us out Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. We're on all the platforms where you can find things. We'll start off. I think I normally do my shout out first, but Simon, I think you got one that's
Sure.
that's
Ellie
ready
can
and
have
waiting
my
if you
shout
wanna.
out. There we go. Subscriber, you'll make Ellie very sad. Look at how sad she is. It's a sad golden
Aww.
retriever. You're supposed to cry. There you go.
Aww.
There you go. I'm gonna let her go really quick here because this is hurting me a lot more than I think. Well, actually, no. She could sit like that. There we go. She's out of the view now, but maybe I can
The good
tilt it down.
Good trick like cameo.
Yeah, you can see how dirty
There
my
we
floor
are.
is. There we go. I think she's a little bit more happy like this. There we go. What's your
go.
shout out?
My shout out for the week. I don't think it's gonna be quite as exciting. What was my shout out gonna be? Oh yeah, my shout out was gonna be a very very sport relevant one. We're gonna go with the random season ticket holder for the Lions that they keep cutting to in all of the Lions games. He's been a season ticket holder since 1957, and so in the Super Bowl era, the Lions have, I believe they've only won one playoff game. It was like one playoff game since 1960. So that poor guy has been, or 1965, whatever it was. It's a day in the 60s was the last time. And the only playoff game they've won in the last like 50 years was in 1991. So this poor guy has been sitting through the entire Lions seasons for like 60 years. He's been there for pretty much every one of them. And this guy, he's 89 years old, is finally getting his dues and finally able to watch a long run to the playoffs. That guy is absolutely fantastic. He seems like such a sweet old man, and I love it so much. And honestly, my Niners hatred aside, my love for this Lions team aside, I want the Lions to win the Super Bowl for that one guy. He's been through so much. Give him a Super Bowl. God damn it, give him a Super Bowl. That's my shout out.
It's a good shout out. No, he deserves it. If you're able to stick around with your franchise for that long, like you deserve it. What are you eating? There's a reason she's not normally down here. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching so much. If you were able to get through all of that, I think it was a really fun episode to record. I think that's I want to do more interactive stuff like we did with the NHL All-Star. It is way harder to do.
Yeah.
I think we could both speak to that. That was a very hard thing to set up. But I think it was a lot of fun. I think it resulted in a lot of very, very, and at least in my opinion, entertaining to me while living it. It was a lot of fun. So I want to do more stuff like that with the NBA All-Star game coming up as well. Maybe we can.
Some 2K.
Yeah, we could do that. I don't know what 2K. What is the most recent 2K that I own? I'm not buying 2K24 to make that work. So we'd be doing it on like 2K22 or something, but it would still work. We could do it.
Yeah.
We'll do something with it.
Yeah.
Maybe a Pro Bowl.
Not allowed to pick one.
Maybe that'd be more fun. Pro Bowl, and then we actually play.
Oh, a Pro Bowl. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we
Oh,
both
yeah,
draft.
we
We both
should.
draft our teams, and then we'll just play a Madden game. That'd be fun. Yeah,
That
I
might
like that
send my
idea.
Wi-Fi crashing to the ground violently, but that would be
That's
fun
true.
if we could make it work.
If we can, that's yeah. So the Pro Bowl is in what? 2 weeks? Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have a?
That would be like a next week podcast thing.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Well, I guess actually it'd be a this week podcast thing because we're doing 2. Because we technically missed last week.
True. That's true.
Yeah. So
That's true.
I was gonna ask, like, do you? I guess you live in a. Do you have like a Wi-Fi router in your? Like
Well, yeah. So like I live. It's like a house, but you rent out specific rooms basically.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just because there's so many people in here. But the Wi-Fi is absolutely garbage.
I was gonna
And the
say
landlord,
I
I
wonder
talked
if
to
you
my
could.
landlord about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wonder if you could connect like a LAN cable, or something, like
Maybe.
because
Maybe.
that's
I'd
I've
have
been
to look into
experimenting
it
with
more.
that even here because if anybody I don't know if I'm pretty sure TELUS is across Canada, not just Alberta. Like, I actually don't know.
I got TELUS here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Then
hate
you
TELUS
also.
so much. It's the worst company in the world.
I was about to
Um,
say, if you are Canadian, you know how bad TELUS is. TELUS is terrible. That's what we have here as well because it's cheaper and it's bad. Like, it's not as bad as what
absolutely
you've got
awful.
over there, Caleb. But like, this should show how bad, just even how bad mine is. When I'm uploading this stuff to YouTube, I'll like set it up, right? I'll keep my computer on overnight, go to bed. I could like, and this is like, keep in mind, I'm usually putting it onto YouTube to prepare for it to actually go public on like Friday night usually, and on my own at home Wi-Fi, it takes about 10 hours for the main episode to upload to YouTube. It is pretty pathetic. Like most of the time, and I've seen Wi-Fi's. Like the funny thing is, I at my college, I've uploaded the podcast to YouTube on the college Wi-Fi, like in the classroom mid class, and it'll literally be done in an hour. Like, and I mean every single segment,
Yeah,
not just the main.
that's TELUS for you. That's TELUS for you.
Yeah,
If
it's
I know
pathetic.
my Wi-Fi is particularly bad here. I think because of the specific living situation. But just to give you a couple examples of how bad this actually is, there are specific spots I live in like a one-room apartment. It's just a studio apartment. There's literally like you can see my bed in the back corner over there.
Yeah.
Like there's no walls or anything. I have to stay in specific spots of this room to make the Wi-Fi work. Where I am sitting right now, this is the only place I would be able to do the podcast because I don't get Wi-Fi on my bed over there.
Oh my God.
I don't get any Wi-Fi over there. I try to like FaceTime my girlfriend over there. Does not work. Hangs up the phone because I get absolutely nothing over there.
Yeah.
Another good Wi-Fi story from here to just show how bad it is. I've tried to run Wi-Fi tests to prove how bad it is. It's the only Wi-Fi network I've ever seen fail a Wi-Fi test because it couldn't stay connected to the network for long enough.
No, I've seen it. Yeah,
It's
that's happened to me
It's
too.
going like it's so slow, and then I see it
Caleb,
speed up,
like,
and I'm like, oh my god, what happened? It connected to data because it disconnected.
Yeah. So I've moved I moved to where I currently live about 2 years ago now, I think. Maybe 1.5 years. But where we used to live, we did have Shaw Wi-Fi. Like and Shaw,
Yeah.
just to demonstrate, like I actually did the math, like on the upload speeds. I like compared what we used to get with Shaw to what we have now with TELUS, and it is legitimately depressing. I think Shaw legitimately is 100 times faster than TELUS. I'm not kidding. That's not an over exaggeration. That is actually just the math. Like
It's such a noticeable difference.
it's insane. It is actually just it is incredible. Yeah. I've been told by I've complained before to like friends and like about how bad the upload speed is to get this podcast up onto YouTube here, and I've been told, and I actually agree with this. I've thought of doing this, just going to like a Tim Hortons and just like having a coffee and just letting it upload. Like it would be a bad idea. Like the only reason I don't actually is because usually I uploaded them at night, because that's just when I edit. I'm a night owl, so like for that reason it wouldn't work as well. But yeah, just know if these podcasts are ever come out on Sunday or like a day late, it's usually because of the upload issues. Like I can say that more than anything usually. Like it's crazy. It's crazy how difficult sometimes it is to get this stuff up, because I don't really have an issue with it past that. I recommended a LAN cable, Caleb, because I just bought one for myself for my PS5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the annoying thing is my computer can't actually connect to a LAN cable, and I'm kind of pissed about it. But
I don't think mine can't. Mine can't either. So
well, you have
that's
a Mac,
the issue.
don't you? Yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. It doesn't have like any ports other than a charging cable, so I'm kind of hooped.
Well, I think we can let the people go. We can stop talking about Wi-Fi now. Make sure to check us out everywhere you haven't already.
Take away screw Telus. Don't use Telus, people. That can be the final takeaway.
Yeah. No, the only reason we do is just because it's cheaper, because it's worse. Cheaper things are worse, but they're cheaper. Like, which is why I'm buying a LAN cable instead of better Wi-Fi. But yeah. Anyway, once again, I'll give I want to emphasize this as much as possible. If you enjoy our content, make sure to check us out everywhere, because we really do. I do my best to make sure we have something new and different going everywhere. Like so just make sure to check everything out if you can. If you enjoy it, we'd love to have you, whether it's just coming and chatting with us over on the Instagram, checking out TikToks, checking us out on YouTube. Last week and the week before, we've had a lot more discussion in the comments, which has been really cool to see. I know, Caleb, I'm still waiting for you to get in a Seahawks related argument with somebody. I'm waiting for it.
I haven't seen anything that's pissed me off enough to where I have to jump on the trick play and pretend to be Simon.
That's true. No, I have a funny feeling when you start responding to questions, you'll be less nice than I usually am. I'm usually pretty nice in the comments.
Yeah, fuck off kindly, Simon. That's how you know it's me.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. Anyway, once again, make sure to check out everything. We do have another episode. Ellie, work with me here. She's been. Oh, okay, you're okay. Okay, maybe not. It's okay. You can stay down there. I don't think she was very happy with me wanting to bring her up again, so she can stay down here. I think she's happier just getting pet. But again, thanks for watching. Subscribe or Ellie will be sad. You don't want to make a golden retriever sad.
No,
you definitely do not. Make sure to check out later in the week with the other podcast episode, where we might do we were just talking about it. I'm tired. The NFL thing, Madden.
we
were just talking about it. I couldn't. I was gonna say. I couldn't remember if we had that conversation on the podcast or in between, but whatever.
That's how you know we've gone on a little too long.
Yeah, that's how you know. That's for sure. Tune in next week.